Darren, how's John Taylor after his comeback yesterday?
Yeah, really good. He did really well for 45 minutes. Trained today, no reaction. So he'll be ready for Saturday.
Well, that's extremely positive, isn't it? Because he's been out for some time and he adds a lot to the side, particularly in an attacking sense.
Yeah, he adds a great energy to us and great lad, John. Really like him. Good pro, works his socks off, and great to see him out there again yesterday. We've had to bide our time with him in terms of he's been really patient, you know, and the new physio coming in, who's been very good actually, has just made sure that we didn't rush him back too early. So it's important that we did that. But he's come through every test that we've asked of him, and obviously the game yesterday was the final one, and no problem at all.
Was it a more complicated injury than everyone thought at first? Because obviously he had it, didn't he, a bit in pre-season, came back for a bit and then ended up having surgery. Was there a bit more to it than everyone expected?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to, obviously, as you'd understand and appreciate, you've got to keep certain things in-house, and it was, as you say, a little bit more complicated than what we were making out, and we knew that. We just couldn't really get to the bottom of the problem, but we have eventually, and when we went to Spain, he came back and trained that day. The first day we went back, and it was probably 3 or 4 days too early for him, which caused another problem. So, but touch wood, it's all out the way now. He's back now for the business end of the season, and we hope he just consistently fit, because that's the main thing that John needs to be.
As a manager, is it difficult to manage someone like John when he's injured? Because he said himself last week that he's almost his own worst enemy, because he's so desperate to play. He'll perhaps say that he feels fitter than he ordinarily does, or he wants to get back quicker than perhaps he should. Is that difficult to manage?
No, it's not. Listen, I've got to know each and every individual. They're all different, but one Monday he came in and it was on the board in the medical room what his week was, and he wasn't happy. He made it very plain to everyone that he wasn't happy. So he thought he was be training with the group that week, but he wasn't. But then you just have to explain, look, it's for his benefit, and he understands that. He's a good lad, and he's got great enthusiasm to play the game, and he's been a big loss for me in terms of what he brings to the table.
Ben Alec also featured. How's he getting on?
He's fit. He's fit for Saturday. He came through again really well, really dominant, very very good test for him in the sense of it was quite a lot of long kicking for him, and he looked good. I was worried about his sharpness, but he looked good. So I've got a couple of decisions to make there, obviously, whether I chuck Ben straight back in. It is actually Loach's last game anyway, but I've got to think farther afield than that. So I've got to decide whether I just stick Ben straight back in because he is fit, and John, I've got to decide whether I stick him straight in the team as well. But those decisions I'll make tomorrow.
Is it a real tempter with John? Because of course the one thing you're lacking at the moment is goals, and I know he hasn't got too many this season, but you feel when he gets into attacking areas he can finish.
Yeah, I've got to do what's best for John, and normally it would be what's best for the team, but on this occasion I've got to make sure that he's ready if I was to start him. But he'll be in the 18, I would have thought, one way or another.
Rochdale are having an excellent season, aren't they? Having won promotion at the end of last term, they've come up and adapted to the step up really well.
Yeah, they're a good team. Obviously we faced them in the first game of the season, so a long time ago, but they've pretty much got the same personnel. They play 4-3-3 formation and have a lot of rotation within that, and 3 strikers. So they're a good team. They've got good energy about them. Fairly young. Again, I keep saying the same thing to you. It'll be a test, but we have to take the positives out of Tuesday night, and watching the game back. The first 30 minutes were excellent. We should really have put the game to bed.
And Keith Hill keeps talking about staying up being his priority, but they're well in the mix, aren't they, for the playoff places, as are you, and as there's so many other teams just below that top 6 at the moment.
Yeah, Keith knows what he's doing. He ain't going to be putting any pressure on his players, and quite rightly so. I don't think there is any on them, so that's how he plays it, and I think that's to protect his players, and you can see why he does that.
Got to be good at the back this weekend, because they score a lot of goals away from home, don't they? 32 they've scored, which is the best goal scoring record away in League One, and they've got 7 wins, so they travel well. Yeah,
because I think that the way they play can make it difficult if they get control of the game. They're, I think, quite expansive in the way they play, and it could be quite an open game, which is fine. It may suit us, but We've just got to, obviously, I'm saying the obvious thing here, when we get our chances, take them, and can be the difference to winning or losing a game.
It was a very professional performance there, actually, wasn't it, opening down the season, because you had a few injuries later. I think you finished with 10 men that day and saw it out. Wasn't much in it at all.
No, and I don't think there will be Saturday. I don't think there will be. We've just got to make sure that we play with the tempo that I was pleased with for the first 30 minutes and even in the second half. And the energy, we were a lot more aggressive on the ball. We did a lot of work on that, and to be fair, the players took it into the game very well. So it will just be a case of tomorrow remind us about the stuff we did well on Tuesday. Try and keep them positive. We'll do our usual sort of video meeting on Rochdale and where we feel we can hurt them, and obviously their strengths. But I think it'll be another tight game. They've not done much to play since Tuesday because of the heavy pitch. I've got to be aware of that as well. So I think it'll be a good football game. I think it'll be quite an open game, actually.
Have you done a lot of work on finishing this week? But I suppose you always do a lot of work on finishing, but it's converting that into a match day situation, isn't it?
Yeah, we do. Every day we're in training the player. Not just the strikers, midfielders will do finishing as well. So yeah, no, listen, it's about just taking it onto a game, and when they get the chances, take them. But bearing in mind that I can't keep ramming it down their throat because it will affect them. So listen, a lucky deflection, something like that, and hopefully they get up and running. But it is key that we get one of them up and running and start getting consistent goals.
It's great that the injuries are beginning to subside a bit. I know you mentioned Marcus had a slight knock early on in the game, and we said he looked to be limping a bit in the second half. Is he okay and fully fit for the weekend?
He probably, well, he is a doubt. How much we'll find out fully tomorrow. Yeah, he felt his knee quite early actually, but he got through it okay. I was a little bit worried at half time when it stiffened up, because that can cause a problem, but he said no, I'm fine. So I think the adrenaline of the game, and listen, he didn't have his best of games, but he is a player that can create something out of nothing, and that's important when you're chasing a game. So he would be a little bit of a doubt because it has stiffened up quite a bit, so we'll wait and see tomorrow.
Is that scan tomorrow or just a case of assessing it?
It won't be a need a scan. It'll just be a case of he is quite sore at the moment, whether he's going to be fit really or not. Nick, I don't think we need a scan.
And you've got options if he's not. I suppose obviously you've got John Taylor who can play in that role, can't he? I suppose the other one would be to move Joe Newell into midfield and play Cozzy at left wing back. That's another option you've got. Yeah,
those are two. I've got Ahan can play in there as well. So in fact probably be the best position for him. But no, I'm pleased that touch wood we've got John back and Ben back, and you know, it makes the group stronger, it makes the squad stronger. There's no doubt about that. And we just hope that Marcus is going to be alright for Saturday. But I've got options. Of
course, another option might be if you make a new signing before the weekend. Any news?
No, nothing to report there. We're trying, and I've spoke to a couple of players, but if there's anything, it'll just be the one before the weekend. But we're still trying. We're waiting on an answer from a player whether he's going to come in or not.
So which position will that be before the weekend? Can you tell us?
No, sorry.
It's fair enough. You're keeping things close to your chest. But what would a new signing do you think before Saturday? Give everyone I'm not saying you need a lift, but freshen things up a bit.
No, I think I've spoken, and I think the players agree that one or two players would help. I mean, the way I'm thinking is it's probably going to be someone with a good bit of experience that I think will help the dressing room as well. That's got good knowledge of the game and things like that, and that's the sort of way we're going down. But we'll just wait and see if it happens before Saturday.
No other injuries to report?
No, they all trained today. I mean, well, I say they all trained, but they should all be fine. Jack Payne and Briz did a light session, but no, everyone should be okay for Saturday now.
I should ask about players going the other way. Mendes Lang, you talked about getting him possibly some minutes out on loan. Any developments there?
No, there's one or two sort of inquiries, but nothing concrete. There was a couple of offers for him where he could have gone, but he, for whatever reason, decided to stay. He's out of contract in the summer as well, so he needs to just try and get out on loan and sort that out really.